Difficult vocabulary word, extensive passages, a lot of content. Welcome to the IELTS reading module. Well, we all know that IELTS reading module is one of the most difficult modules in the IELTS test. The reason is that we are not the frequent reader in our daily life. Now, just because we are not habitual to read a lot, that is why we face the lack of practice problem in the reading test. How can you eliminate that? What are the things that can help you to take you toward the band 8 in IELTS reading test? And what are the things that you need to avoid? I'm going to make videos on all these things, but today we are going to talk about 10 things that you should avoid when it comes to the reading test. First and the foremost thing is when you try to understand everything in the reading passage or when you try to read it all thoroughly by understanding, paying attention to every word, every single sentence, every paragraph, and trying to get the meaning of everything, that is totally the waste of time. You should do the skimming and scanning. You should never try to understand it all. Skimming and scanning means, as you know, the scanning means you just simply go through it without understanding the meaning. Skimming means you just simply extract the important information, just simply get the glimpse of the information, the gist of the information. Now, what is important? What you need to remember later on in order to answer the question. That's the number one thing. Number two, second mistake that we make is to read out the passage thoroughly, even doing skimming and scanning without reading out the question. What's the purpose of scanning and skimming? Skimming means when you are extracting information. What information are you extracting when you are not even aware that what exactly are you looking for? You haven't yet read the question. First, read out the question, understand it. What information are you looking for? Once you are done with that, then just simply go to the passage, try to understand what's given over there, which information is located in which part of the passage or the paragraph. Once you would be able to create the connection, you can read out the answer. You can find out the answer quite easily. Now, let me tell you what you have to do. First, read out the question. As you know, there are 13 to 14 categories of the question. Out of those 14 categories, 90% of the categories require this skill that I'm telling you right now. First, read out the question. Try to understand what information you need from the passage. Then, just simply go there to the passage, do the skimming and scanning, go through it, try to find out the similar information. How you can do that? By might be looking at the keywords. Keywords are those important words which are going to create the connection between the question and the passage. Those keywords could be dates, names, nouns, or even the general meaning of the content. Just simply try to locate it in the passage, and that is how your skimming and scanning will also help you out. And number three thing that you have to avoid in your reading practice is exactly related to the number two and number one. That is, yes, when you read out the question and you're looking for the information in the passage, remember only dates would be same, the names would be same, but for the verbs they are gonna use, or even for the noun, they are gonna use the synonyms there. Just as I said in another video that if you ask me to define IELTS in one word, that one word would be vocabulary. That's what they are doing in IELTS. When it's a listening test, they are using synonyms. When it's a reading test, they are using synonyms. When it's a writing test, they expect you to write synonyms, show the wide range of vocabulary. When you are speaking up, they expect you to show the wide range of vocabulary by using the synonym. They are not going to use the same vocabulary words in the question and in the passage. It's for sure. How you can tackle this problem? Simple. When you read out the question, try to paraphrase the meaning in your own mind. Give your own meaning to yourself. Use your own structure. Use your own vocabulary word to understand what is there in the question. Don't just look for the exact information, exact vocabulary word. Instead, just simply give your own meaning. Take that meaning to the passage and find it out what they are asking for. So the thing that I would suggest you to avoid at number three is not to paraphrase it. Always paraphrase. That would give you an easy understanding to find out the answer. Number four thing is to unwisely using of your time. Remember, In IELTS test, if you get stuck at one question, for instance, question number 27, it's not like you are going to spend a lot of time on the question number 27 only. Just because you are trying to figure out the answer and you're not able to, this thing is making the situation more panicking for you. You are taking more pressure. Don't do that. If you're not able to find out the question, answer for the question, move on to the next question. Save your time. And once you have completed the test, then you can jump back to the question number 27. Remember, in 60 minutes, you have to give answer for 40 questions. So you actually get approximately 1 minute and 15 seconds for every single question. If you're spending more than that time on one question, move on, because at the end you also have to save 5 minutes minimum to transfer your answer to the answer sheet. This is what I would suggest you to do. Number five, never ever assume the answer. Never ever give your answer from your own understanding, from your own knowledge, from your own perspective. Maybe the passage is about cars and you are really fond of cars. You have a lot of information about cars. This is your area of interest. Still, if there is a question and you believe you know the answer already, do not ever rely on the same information that you know already. Always rely on the information which is given in the passage. Remember, just as I said earlier in previous videos, it's not the test of your intellectuality, general knowledge, wisdom. It's not the test of these things. It's the test of your reading, of your English. Are you really able to understand what's given in the passage? It's the information that you have to extract from the passage only, but not from your past experiences and not from your own knowledge. You just simply rely on the information given in the passage, read out the question, try to locate that information in the passage only. Maybe what you know is accurate, true, but different than what is given in the paragraph. Even if they have given wrong information, believe in on the information which is given in the passage only, or different than what you understand, still believe on what is given in the passage. Next, in IELTS reading test, following the instruction is the key element. If you do not follow the instruction, then do not expect good band in your IELTS reading test. How? In instruction, sometimes they tell you that do not write more than one word. Then do not write more than one word. Stick to that information. Before solving any question, read out the instructions at the top of the question. Always. Do not write more than 2 words. But let's suppose if they ask you to do not write more than 2 words and you write 3 words, and out of those 3 words that you have written in your answer, 2 words are exactly from the question, still they are going to give you cross. Why so? Because you did not follow the instruction. Do not write more than 3 words and you write 4 words. 3 words out of your 4 words are from the answer. Still, it's a wrong answer because you did not follow the instruction. And from the multiple choice question and multiple selection, there is a confusion. In multiple choice question, you have to select one option as an answer. In multiple selection, you have to select 2 or 3 options for one question. If you will read out the instruction only, then you will be able to understand that do you have to select one answer, appropriate answer out of given options, or 2 or 3 or 4? What do you have to do? Read out the instructions carefully. If you're not reading out the instructions, you're definitely going to lose your band. Moving on to the next thing that you have to avoid is the time management. Time management means you have to solve, just as I was saying earlier, 40 questions in 60 minutes. Of course, it's a difficult task to do. What I usually suggest my students in the beginning, when they just start preparing for the IELTS reading test, I ask them to solve this reading test and do not consider that there is a specific time frame. They solve it in 2 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes, and all the 40 questions, or out of 40, 38, 39 are definitely correct answer because they have spent a lot of time to understand the question, the passage, and to give the answer. Now, what is something which is making this reading module difficult? One of the top things is the time management, the time problem, the limited time, in fact, you have is making the reading test difficult. The more you spend time on one question, the more you are making it difficult for you to solve out the next question. Sometimes the questions are not difficult, but the less time is making this difficult for you because now time is ticking and you are taking pressure. You are creating a stressful situation for you. So When you are solving the reading test, just simply eliminate this thing that you are not in a time frame. You are always in a time frame. In the beginning, yes, you can understand the test by ignoring the time frame. But after that, practice in a real way and keep practicing in order to eliminate the time, in order to minimize the time to solve the test. There is a saying, if you find anything difficult, do it more. I suggest you to do it more so that you would be so much in the practice that you can solve these 40 questions in 55 minutes only. Just as I said earlier, 5 minutes would be to transfer your answer to the answer sheet. Next thing to ignore is the spelling mistake. Sometimes we write down the correct spelling on the question paper, but when we have to transfer that correct answer to the answer sheet, what we do, we just simply make a spelling mistake. Every single thing that you're going to write on the answer sheet will be considered as final, and things that you are writing on the question paper are just the rough working. Don't be worried about that. But on answer sheet, spellings should be correct. There should not be a grammatical mistake or a tense mistake. Now, the question is how you can make a grammatical mistake by writing one word only. Your one word is really making a correct grammatical structure of the sentence which was from the question. If yes, then grammatical structure is okay. If no, then there is a grammatical mistake. You need to know you have to write down a singular word, plural word, noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective. What exactly are you looking for your answer? And what are you writing on the answer sheet? Is this really accurate from the grammar perspective or not? Number nine thing, you need to avoid the difficult vocabulary words which are used in the question. Sometimes they use the difficult vocabulary words which are not even related to the information which you need to understand to answer the question. If that is happening, why would you get the pressure from that difficult word? That difficult word is totally useless in the passage for you. You don't need to understand the meaning. For instance, in the third line, they have used the difficult word. You took the pressure. Now you read out the question and you figure it out. Okay, the first paragraph is totally useless. There is no relatability of the question with the first paragraph. Was there any point of taking the pressure from that first paragraph? No. Maybe the difficult vocabulary word is not related to the information that you're looking for to answer the question. And another thing that can happen, they are using a difficult name. For instance, once I was solving a reading module with my student, and there was a specific name of a dinosaur, and the word was of 18 to 19 alphabets. That word was creating the pressure for every student. What we did, we started calling that name as Peter. After the Peter, we figured it out that the test was really easy. To answer the question was really easy. Only difficult word which was creating pressure was that name. So remember, might be the name of a place is creating a pressure for you that you are not aware of that. It's a psychological pressure that you take. We need to avoid that. Number 10, last but not the least information is that you should avoid is to ignore the elimination rule. When it comes to solving the MCQs or multiple selection question, remember the elimination rule. Elimination rule says now in the MCQs, of course, there are four options, and all these four options are relatable to the information given in the context. Now, elimination rule says that if you find out that the number three option cannot be an option, just eliminate that. Number two option cannot be an option, eliminate that. By eliminating it, now there is only one number one and number four option is there. You can select the answer out of these two options quite easily. Elimination rule really helps you in MCQs and multiple selection. Always rely on that. Always believe on that. Well, these are the 10 things that you need to avoid when you are solving the reading test. I hope you find this video helpful for you. If yes, give me a thumbs up, subscribe the channel, stay connected with us and keep watching our videos. Thank you so very much. Take care, stay blessed. See you in the next video.